What changes has the advice industry undergone, and what's been the impact of those changes?
Yeah, there's been a lot, and I suppose the question is, where do you want me to start from? But even if we take the last even 5 years, the education reform that came into place, which is nicknamed the FASEA standards, which is a body that's been created, the Financial Advisor Standards and Ethics Authority, was put in place as part of that legislation. But there was a sweep of professional standards legislation which included the requirement for financial planners to have a degree qualification or equivalent, required for financial advisors to sit a national exam, required for advisors to be subject to a code of ethics and to ongoing continued professional development. And so that was part of to make sure there was a minimum standard imposed across the whole sector, because the way we operated previously was that effectively only those who are members of a body like the FPA would be subject to some of those standards, and those that chose not to be a member of the FPA effectively operated under much lower levels of scrutiny and standard. So that now creates this level playing field. We're in the middle of that transformation right now, so they're in transition. Many of our members are completing the exam component of those standards as we speak. The Code of Ethics came live as of 1st of January this year. And the education, so those requiring to upskill, i.e. complete further study to get to degree equivalents, have until now the end of 2025 in order to do that. And so many of our members are going through that process. And that's the education side. In addition to that, we've seen post-FOFA, Future Financial Advice reforms, we've seen as you mentioned, the Royal Commission, which was a couple of years ago now. As a result of those recommendations from the Royal Commission, there's been a number of recommendations which have now been proposed to be legislated. The government had a very aggressive timetable pre-COVID in respect to those reforms, but obviously that's now been delayed by about 6 months. We look to recommence that consultation process with government in the next short while. But effectively, some of those changes have already had impacts to the market, such as, for example, the banning of grandfathered commissions. So many of those watching this would be aware that since FOFA, all prospective commissions on investments and superannuation are banned. So it's illegal to obtain new forms of commission, but any commissions that you had prior to FOFA were grandfathered. This legislation that the government passed last year effectively means that all grandfathered commissions will be illegal or banned from the 1st of January 2021. And that has created a big shift in terms of business models, as you could imagine, for licensees and practices, resulting in a number, reforming their businesses or deciding to leave the profession altogether. There are a number of other pieces of legislation that are coming about as well that are part of the Royal Commission reform, but that's a big one, of course. And there's been many other different pieces of legislation that have come through, such as, for example, the need for financial advisors to be registered as tax agents with the Tax Practitioners Board. That's also been something that's occurred over the last 5 or 6 years and has created an extra regulator for us. Extra layer of cost and complexity, but has been something that we've had to live with as well. There's just a few to mention for you.